What's going on, y'all? Thanks for checking in the Khaliis Take. You know what to do. Hit that like, subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell just so you can get the newest and the bonus content first. But hey, let's just go ahead and jump right in. You know, the Kyrie Irving and LeBron James reunion talk is becoming more and more bigger each and every day. It seems like each and every hour, if you ask me. Because it doesn't look like Kyrie Irving's going back to the Brooklyn Nets. It doesn't look like the Brooklyn Nets really want him back based upon the production he's given in the last couple of years. And with them not winning a championship or not even sniffing a championship or coming close or remotely close to a championship, it really looks like it's just a bust situation for the Brooklyn Nets. They don't have, any reason really to bring Kyrie back with the production he's been given the last couple seasons. And this past year, the vaccination thing, they had the mandate, uplift the mandate, for him to play. He played only road games. He was there half the time. You can't depend on a basketball player like that. If a basketball player or if a player is hurt, that's one thing. But if they're not hurt and they're able to play and there is a way, they need to find a way to get on the court. Because I always say, chemistry is everything when it comes to winning a championship. When you want to win championships, it doesn't matter how much talent you have on your team. It's all about the chemistry and the camaraderie you have. There's been a lot of big three teams, or at least a couple big three teams, I should say, off the top of my head, where the operation didn't go as smooth as it should have from day one. Now, the one big three you could look at is the Miami Heat with LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. They lost their first season against Dallas, in the finals. Things didn't go their way. They thought it'd be an easy ride, a cakewalk, and it wasn't. And the fact that it wasn't is the same thing how it relates to the Brooklyn Nets. They had a big three in James Harden, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant, and it didn't work out because one of them left the team or wanted to leave the team because the feeling of Kyrie Irving not being all in, or at least that was the reports that was put out about that situation anyway, on the reason why James Harden left. And then you have KD and Kyrie, they lose in the first round of the playoffs and get swept by the Boston Celtics and don't even win a game, with two of the most prolific scorers of all time in the NBA, which is very shocking. That shocked a lot of people. And it just really, the Brooklyn Nets really look at that as almost like a slap in the face, because this team just several months ago, had a dynasty type team, or a team that could be a dynasty type, with three of the premier scorers of all time in the NBA. And it blows up in the Brooklyn's face because, the Kyrie situation, not playing, and, James Harden thinking that he's not all in, a lot of rifts between the two or three with KD in the middle somewhere. And I just feel like the Brooklyn Nets really have, looked past Kyrie. And Kyrie is, one of those type players who want everything his way. And he has certain stipulations that really don't coincide with teams and their operation and what they're trying to do, especially the Brooklyn Nets. And that's why I feel like, Kyrie is really just, looking elsewhere along with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, there's been reports, as I said, that, per Mark Stein, you can look at the Bleacher Report and then read some of these reports and everything about, LeBron and Kyrie, discussing a reunion and, speaking to in contact with each other, per Mark Stein. So with that being said, there is a possibility that it can happen. And it's a really high possibility that it can happen if those reports are true, because, Kyrie and LeBron did win a championship one time. And, it would be a great reunion for them to, get back and, see what they could do once again. And, LA, at least Lakers side of LA definitely needs that spark right now because of what happened last year, not even making the play-in tournament. That really set a lot of people the wrong way, really rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way, because there's no way you can have three top 75 players on a team and don't even make the playoffs, or at least the play-in tournament. That's almost unheard of. That's almost not even logical. So, it would be epic to see those two players, Irvin and James, be together again, but at the same time, you have to ask yourself, who would the Lakers get rid of, or who would they have to get rid of to acquire Kyrie Irving? I mean, would it be Westbrook or Anthony Davis or most of the pieces on their team just to get him on there with the contract situation and everything? I mean, it's a lot that goes into it. So, Lakers fans, don't be surprised if it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at it as in like it's a for sure, it's a definite, it's a go, it's a guarantee. Don't look at it like that, because it's a lot of things that have to happen for that to transpire. You see what I'm saying? So, and then, like I said, we have to see whether, who they let go or get rid of, however you want to say, to get Kyrie on there. Because, I mean, like I said, it more likely have to either be Westbrook or Anthony Davis, or, one of those players and some picks, or maybe another person off the bench or something like that. It would have to be some type of, something there. And, Brooklyn, I don't know what they'd be asking for, or how the whole operation would go there with Brooklyn, because they're in a tough situation to me. Because if Kyrie does leave, where does that leave Kevin Durant? Is Kevin Durant going to want to stay there? Is Kevin Durant going to follow Kyrie? Is Kevin Durant going to, go somewhere else and try to set up his own team again and try to win a championship that he hasn't won yet? And looking like, oh, well, he can't win a championship unless he has the top players in the NBA. He can't have his own team win a championship. Who knows what happens from there? Because Kevin Durant is more of a follower than a leader. I mean, we see that because Kyrie basically, is the leader between him and Kevin Durant. So it's like, who knows what KD is going to do, even though KD is the better player. But that's the problem. What is going to happen there if Kyrie does leave? You see what I'm saying? And that's going to leave a bad taste in Kevin Durant's mouth. Or is he going to the Lakers too? Or, I'm not saying he would go to the Lakers, but I'm just saying where would he be at? Where would he end up? Or how he view the situation if that happens, So it's a lot that goes into this, more than what people think. And it's a lot of talks out there. So you have to believe half of what you hear and only what you see. And that's the way you got to kind of carry it and look at it. I mean, that's the only way you can look at it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of commotion going on right now about this topic. And like I said, to me, I'm not saying if Kyrie goes to the Lakers, they'll win a championship the first year or anything like that, or who knows? Because you got to understand, even if Kyrie does go to LA, of course, don't get me wrong, it'll better their chances, of winning and everything like that, because you have a Kyrie Irving, because you got LeBron James. But this is what I'm saying. LeBron is a lot older now. LeBron is not the LeBron he once was. And playing through the regular season takes a lot of energy out of him. So have him playing through the regular season and then going to the playoffs, playing all those series, back-to-back games and 7-game series and all that. You have to ask yourself, can LeBron endure all that? Yeah, we saw him play good last season because it ended at the season. He didn't have to go into the postseason and expend any more energy, because their season was over after the season ended, because they didn't even make the play-in tournament. So, I mean, and we just saw a year ago before that when LeBron James, had went into the playoffs. Anthony Davis was hurt. They lost to the first round to Phoenix. And LeBron James looked absolutely gassed in that series. He looked absolutely tired. And this is what I'm saying. Even if Kyrie does come there, you got to ask yourself, is that a guaranteed championship? No, it's not. It's no guarantee, because, you don't know what Kyrie you're going to get from day to day. And then on top of that, with LeBron James, you don't know how he's going to fare physically wise, on the court throughout the season and taking it into the playoffs, to how much energy he's going to have, because he will be 38 years old soon. So, I mean, like, you got to take all that into account. You got to take all that into your thought process. So, we got to see what happens with the Kyrie thing. And if he does get acquired by the Lakers, we got to see what other changes they make, what other moves they make, because like I said, offensively, that would just be helping them offensively. But what about defense? Kyrie is not known for defense. LeBron James is not known for defense the way he once was. So, I mean, it's like, who stays there? Who goes? Who else do they acquire on top of Kyrie to make them a better, well-rounded team so they can be more of a force going into next season rather than just be all top heavy, with offense and no defense and allow teams to run up down the floor on them and just get beat? I mean, because you got Kyrie, if they do get Kyrie, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, hell, Kyrie got swept in the playoffs with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a better scorer than LeBron James when healthy. A lot of people think Kevin Durant's a better player than LeBron James when he's fully healthy. So, I mean, this is my point. If you can get swept with Kevin Durant, you can get swept in a 7-game series with a LeBron James who will be 38, 39 years old at that time. So, I mean, it's no guarantee they would win a championship, but I understand it would look a lot better for their chances if they did have a Kyrie Irving or somebody like that, because he would go out there and ball when he's on the floor. That's no doubt. And they definitely would make the playoffs, I think, with Kyrie Irving. So that's too dynamic of a player, not to be able to make the playoffs, I think, or at least make the play-in tournament. I would assume they would at least be able to make that much. So it would be interesting to see, if this all pans out that way, because it'd be a big offseason for the Lakers if they can acquire Kyrie, maybe get another piece in there or two on defense, and add to what they already have, and see who they would acquire, like I said, on top of Kyrie, maybe just some extra defense, maybe another big man or something like that. But of course, Lakers fans would love to see Kyrie Irving go to the Lakers and, they trade Kyrie for Russell Westbrook, but we have to see how that would go. I don't know if that would be as easy as a lot of people think or a lot of people would hope for, but it definitely would be, very intriguing, I would say, if it did happen that way, because that would be Lakers getting rid of a problem in Russell Westbrook and adding a better player to me in Kyrie Irving. I personally am more of a fan, or always have been more of a fan of Kyrie's game over Russell Westbrook's game. To me, that's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying I'm a Kyrie. I'm not saying that Kyrie Irving is my favorite player or anything like that, because he's not. I'm just saying game wise, I would take his game over Westbrook's, to me, any day of the week. So that, to me, it'd definitely be an upgrade for the Lakers, because like I said, LeBron's won a championship with Kyrie before, so he know how he plays. And there again, Kyrie fits LeBron more because Kyrie is a shooter. He can knock down shots. One thing Russell Westbrook can't do is shoot, so he doesn't stretch the floor enough for LeBron James to be even more effective, and for Anthony Davis to be effective. So, I mean, that would definitely open up a lot of avenues for the Lakers in that regards as well. So, I mean, and then, if that hypothetically happened, then, that means Kevin Durant would be back with Russell Westbrook, his old running mate, and they went to an NBA Finals before, so they know each other's game as well. So, I mean, that would be very interesting to see. But at the same time, you have to see how it all goes and how it pans out, and see if this reunion ever really comes to life, because it's being talked about so much right now. It's almost as if it's here already rather than a probability. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how it pans out for the Lakers. They potentially have a big offseason or a huge offseason, coming up here, with all these reports out there about who can go to the Lakers and who won't, and who will be exiting the Lakers. So we'll see how it all pans out for them, and see how they fare in the offseason, see if they can take it into the next season and see what they can do. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check out my other videos if you haven't. And hey, Kylie out.